Oh, yes, sir. Am I going to the gym after this? Or have I been to the gym before this? I guess we'll never know. Should we get into it? You got your beverages? Huh? You got your cans? This will give you a little clue if it's before or after. It's a protein soda, son. We'll get to these in the background. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon. Okay, no one's around. Let's get to it. Grab your can. What do we do? First, we skim the top. Then, we get the gutter. Then, we blow. Oh, yeah, now we can open this bad boy. All right, a little ASMR action. Are you ready? Ooh, that's the sound that the gods make, baby. All right, should we fill it up? Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. This is always the confusing part, but we'll do it anyway. Remember, you're loved. You're worthwhile. Preston, I touched you in your sleep last night. Here we go. When the foam gets to the top, you slow it down and think of dreams you want to achieve. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes and dream. Oh, yeah. That's a good dream for me. Oh. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a good dream. All right, fill it up a little bit more. Let's take a sip, fam. Oh, that's good. All right. Welcome to Thirsty Thursday. 3, 2, 1. That's a knockout.
3, 2, 1, yeah, that's a knockout. They call me kamikaze, put you in heaven's lobby. On gas, no brakes, you can never stop me. Nah, no, you can never stop me. Yeah, cause I'm the power slap king. Slap some, baby!
Hey, fam. This protein Skittle drink's not bad. Bucked up in the building. Before we get too far, speaking of bucked up in like different ways, code Alley15 to save on Elixir beverages. Pop behind me. Save 15%. And then also, when it arrives, all your dreams will come true. In fact, all of mine have come true since they arrived in the mail. And they continue to come true because I'm on auto ship, bitch. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Who'd have thought we'd live in a time where you hit a button, food shows up to your porch, and protein, the vital thing you need to be healthy and alive, especially if you're a workout person, would come in a soda pop. A soda pop flavored like Skittles. Life isn't bad. Life isn't bad. All right, speaking of life, let's get a sip going. Man, that's good. All right. The week that was. Picked up Dre from college the other day. It was so funny. I think my man is in his groove. I think he's in his element. He shot me a text and he just said, "Hey, can you come pick me up? Or I can go to jump on the bus or train or whatever and then pick me up from the train station." And I said, "Sure. What time do the trains show up? You know, what's the schedule like?" And he texted me back and he's just like, "Oh, man, the schedule's effed. Just come get me." And I was like, okay, I guess Dre curses now. All right. Hey, I'll take it. Cursing's great. It shows your intelligence emotionally. Let's be honest, especially if you use it in like a self-deprecating, funny way, appropriate way. Ooh, swearing's okay in this house, but not till you're in college, Lucas. All right. Picked him up, and the whole drive back to Bountiful, he was just yakking and talking about all this, like the parties he's been to, the people he's met, his roommate, all this kind of stuff. He even snuck in some ladies, you know what I mean? It was fun. He just sat there and talked the whole drive home while I listened to some conspiracy podcast in the background. It was great, man. He seems like he's doing really well. He's out on his own enough. He is being away from everybody just enough. And I think that's going to really help him in his college experience. He's kind of being himself, you know? I loved it. And his roommate seems pretty cool, so can't hate on that. That can be a luck of the draw sometimes. And I think he got lucky. So, yeah, Dre's doing great, dude. Timmer, he has a bike race coming up in a couple days. We talked about his last one. It went pretty good, but he's worked really hard. He really has worked his butt off. So I think this race, he'll calm down a little bit more and do a little bit better. But I really think the race after this one, he's going to settle into his own and really just start murking people. Hold on, Pam. Got to drink more medicine. The medicine's good. Yeah, I'm excited for him. He's worked really hard. He's got a race coming up, and I think he'll do well. I think he'll do even better than he did last time, and eventually, I think there's a podium in this kid's future. I really do. Lucas, just a rascal, bro. Just a rascal this week. Oh, we had this night, son. He was throwing a fit, just like I don't know. I don't want to put the kid on blast. He is a kid. He's still trying to find his way in life. I get it. But I will say this. It did end with me kicking the dog gate and screaming, "You are loved." That's real. And I made him, because Lucas is one of those kids where he's got to stay busy. He's got to stay busy. And it doesn't help that whenever dad says no, mom says yes. Little role reversal there. Typically, I think it's the dad who says yes and the mom says no. But not in this house. So anyway, it doesn't help that he does get a lot of stuff pretty quick, growing up. But he's got to learn, dude. Life is not like that. Life is hard. Life is shitty. Life rarely goes exactly how you want it. A lot of times in life, it does go the way you want it if you stick in there and stay in your lane and do your thing and be consistent. But to go exactly how you want it, how you've dreamed up in your brain, that's rare. That's rare. So anyway, he was having a moment, you know what I mean? Really passionate kid. And I kicked the dog gate. I'm screaming, "You are loved. We got to get out of here." And he's going, "No, I don't want to." And I was like, "I will make you get out of here. We're going on a walk." And he's like, "No, no, no." I got in his face and I was just like, "Bro, get your shoes on. We got to get out of here because you're just going to sit here and stew. And that's not going to accomplish anything. It's just going to make you more mad, more frustrated, blah, 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 blah." So we go on the walk, and not the whole time on the walk, but a good chunk of the walk, I was trying to tell this kid, I was like, "Look, man, your life has challenges. Everybody's life has challenges. That's not the point. The point is you've got a team behind you to help you with those challenges. And that's the lucky part. That's the part that's a gift. There's so many kids and adults that don't have a team helping them in the background, and they're all on their own, and it's a struggle, and it's just all about them, 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 them. And that's not the case with this youngin'. He's got a mom and dad who die for him. He's got a mom and dad that would do anything for him and do. I think he's just at that age where, it doesn't register when you're a kid. Sometimes it takes growing up, being out on your own, like Dre, going to college, or, if you grow up within our church, you end up going on a mission, or maybe it's not till you get a job and you got that first utility bill, or whatever it is. Go through your first divorce, your first breakup. Like, life will find you. Life will find you. And the more prepared you are growing up and feeling out and getting into your own self, your body growing, your emotions growing, all that stuff, the sooner you can kind of figure that out. I'm not saying it's going to fix it, but it's going to help. And that's what I was trying to tell him on this walk. And I said, "Look, you may think I don't know you." And he's like, "You don't." I'm not going to say all this stuff and put my 11-year-old on blast. But Mans was in a mood, and he gets that way too much. So on this walk, he kept asking, "Why are we going on the walk?" And I kept telling him, "It's because you got to stay busy. You love to work. Lucas loves to work. It really is his favorite thing. He likes getting out there, staying busy, fixing stuff. The entrepreneur side comes out of him, He really likes that. But the issue is he's got to learn that can't be constant. He can't constantly get exactly what he wants and be stimulated all the time. And the best solution for this, and he knows this, that little punk, he knows this, man. He needs to get it out of him. And I think a lot of people need to like quote unquote get it out of them. And physical activity is the way to do it. There's probably other ways. I know people meditate, people do yoga as a form of physical activity, people just go on walks. But in this house, with boys and the aggression that comes with boys and the big feelings that come with boys, girls have big feelings too, but it's more not as like what's the word? From what I know, the girls' big emotions aren't so much like they're more like boys are like whoa. So we got to get that raw energy out of this kid in some form every day. So the other day, so anyway, on this walk, I told him, I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to take jujitsu? Do you want to go to a boxing class? Do you want? And he's like, no, no, no. And I said, well, let's start with boxing. You obviously like to hit now and then. Let's get it out in a healthy way. Let's, dare I say, encourage your angry side. Love it, right? And he's like, well, will I get to fight? And I mean, so I said, do you mean like spar, like get in a ring? And he's like, yeah, will I be able to do that? And I said, oh, yeah, eventually. That's the point. You get your skills underneath your feet, and then eventually you get a spar with headgear and all that kind of stuff. And that seemed to excite him. And so just the other day, Tim wanted to go driving for like an hour. And I said, perfect. Let's go drive by the boxing gym, like a legit one. So it's just boxing, maybe a little bit of, freestyle type stuff, but go to an actual boxing gym. Let him feel like a man. You know what I mean? And so we go in to the boxing gym. Lucas is smiling, and there's different smiles with kids. If you're a parent, sometimes they smile for one thing, sometimes they smile for another, and then they smile for like a genuine reason, like actual excitement. And that was the vibe I was getting for sure. So I looked at the boys, and I'm like, okay, are we going to do this? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Timmer's going to be a little busy because of bike season. However, we're going to the we're going to the gym, fam. We're going to the boxing gym. And finally, once and for all, these kiddos will see that their dad's not to be messed with. And they'll be able to get that confidence that comes with knowing how to fight. I think jujitsu is a bit more real life. And I admire everybody who does jujitsu. Shout out to my boy Tim in Texas for sure. And he's teaching his little kids. They've been in jujitsu now for, man, a while. I want to say, don't quote me on this, fam, but I want to say he's been doing it with his little kids for about a year. That might be, hope I'm not off on that. Tim Murphy, Tim, Texas, if you happen to be listening, correct me on that. But he's just got little ones and they're so into it. It's a family thing. And so I think jujitsu is more practical and everyday defending yourself. However, you got to start somewhere. And boxing is a great skill to start with. And then once they get kind of the groove in that, we'll teach them the ground game, which I'm excited about as well. Because I did MMA training for 6 or 7 months. And then I stopped. But that was literally my first and only experience grappling, being on the ground, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. And not only is it exhausting in the best way, you really feel more confident. So I think we'll eventually get there. Maybe even before Christmas, but for sure, we're starting with the boxing. Signed up at the gym, all three of us. It was funny. Tim was worried about the cost because it is expensive. Like, let's be honest, it's a little expensive, and they don't have like a family membership. So anyway, he kind of was like, well, I don't know, getting a little worried. And I said, look, dude, if we're actually going as a family, getting in shape, getting all the aggression out, making it so we can make more logical, less emotional decisions and just, grow in that regard all around, it's free. It's emotionally free. So don't even worry about it. So we're going to literally start that up probably tomorrow or Sunday. Very, very excited. It's a big deal, man. I would love nothing more than to go to the boxing gym with my family, get all the aggression out. I wish Allie would join us actually, because in the Scott household, it can get tense, son. Running your own business, about to launch 3 different products. It gets intense. So that would be cool. So yeah, boys are doing great. School has started back up. We're in week 2 or 3 now. I don't know. Let's say week 3. I don't know. but that's good because now we can get back into that routine, which is a bit more free time for dad to help out with wifey and to do the podcast a bit more streamlined, to get to the gym a bit more streamlined because little do these boys know. I'll probably be going to the boxing gym for a second time when I go with them on the days they go. So, and that's all because school's back in session. So that'll be great. Um, Dude, got a big VC meeting coming up on Tuesday. Won't say too much about it, but Bestie and I are gonna well, I know a couple guys in the VC game. One has a fund that's more consumer oriented. One has a fund that's literally consumer oriented. They don't invest in software or anything. It's all product. And anyway, just a little link up. Hopefully some cool stuff happens there. So that's coming up. Podcast was cool this past week. We had we had Zach Lansing on, and he's so cool, man. He's so funny. I wish people would understand what cool people the strikers are. I mean, really, like they're the nicest people. I was watching this interview with it was Never Made Weight, and I think the guy's name was Michael Hall. But anyway, he was talking about how there's some, you know, in some ways there's more drama in the media than with the actual strikers. there's definitely some truth in that. So shout out Michael Hall and Never Made Weight. But yeah, man, Zach is always so fun, man. He's so funny. He's the biggest dude. He's the nicest dude, but he's an honest dude. So it's always good to get all three of those. You know, if you guys can't tell, I'm all about self-deprecation and laughing and being funny and having energy. You know, that's what I'm all about. And he definitely brought that this week. So I'm excited. Interviewing, we got a bunch coming up. We got Ro coming up, hoping to get Belly in here. Who else, man? PETA, trying to get her. Anyway, yeah. So podcast is rolling along. Power Slap's coming up October 3rd, Mean Girls Day. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's going to be huge. For those that don't know, Mean Girls, that's my movie. I don't give a fuck. Oh, you like Mean Girls? And I get, I'm secure in my beliefs, and Mean Girls is my Bible. And if you're going to drink, do it in the house. Man, that's good. I had my sister come out. That was cool. She gets her hair done by a tiny niece every 6 weeks. So she came out, got to get caught up with Pops and everything. It was good because she was actually there the whole time. So hopefully my mom got some rest more so than usual. So it was good to have her around. Man. So then we get to Pops. Pops, dude, we got him a new bed. So we had Hospice come in and start doing their thing. The H word is very scary because all I know about the H word is 3 different instances. And all 3 instances were laying on a hospital bed, dipping those sponges that have a popsicle stick on the end and just dabbing their mouth. And, you know, you're just waiting for death to show up at your door. However, I have learned that it's not immediately that. They come in and actually try and do some relief. For the family and especially for the spouse if they're still alive. But it's tough though, right? Because I don't know. All I know about hospice is what I just said, and then like movies. And with movies, it's all about, you know, crooked nurses and, you know, fucking Dexter, you know, killing the nurse that kills the people on hospice, you know, which is funny and messed up. But that's all you know, man. They don't show you the good side of hospice in movies. They just show you the death side of hospice in movies. So it was good to get a real, an actual look into what they do. They mostly just kind of relieve a lot of the duties, which is good. I had to lift my dad a lot this week, like literally lift him. I'm so grateful my back hasn't gone out. Because honestly, I don't know how much he weighs, but he's not a small guy. And so anyway, now he's got like an actual bed he can sleep on, which is good. He's mumbling a bit more, not making a lot of sense more and more, but he's still talking here and there. He's still laughing here and there. He's still, we showed up, Steph showed up with donuts the other day and she cut it up and I was going to serve it to him like sacrament and be like, you know, funny. Then I realized my audience and it probably wouldn't go over that well. But showed him that and he took a bite of this donut that was caught up. And then he took another one, and I was like, "Are you good?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." So I was taking it away, and then as I was taking it away, he goes, "No more, no more." And so I came back, and he finished the rest of the donut that was caught up, or cut up, not caught up. Um, so yeah, he's in there, man. I mean, he talks. I'm not with him all night. That'll probably change here pretty soon, or one of these nights. We might have to take all night shifts going forward. I don't know. But I guess at night it gets a bit more shakier. He gets a bit more scared. Um, he starts talking a bit more. They say he's hallucinating, which I don't disagree with. It's just I haven't really seen that yet. When I'm with him, I have seen him kind of grab at things that aren't there. Oh, grab at things that aren't really there. Kind of try and brush stuff off of his leg that isn't there. He thinks like dust on the ground is spiders. But I've only heard that. I haven't seen that yet. I've only seen these like little things where he's grabbing. Um, but honestly, man, it just sucks. It fucking sucks. I hate it. In some ways, my dad is already gone, and he's been gone for a little while. But you know, I don't know. Definitely not the first person to go through this. I mean, ironically, my dad went through this with his mom. She didn't have Parkinson's, but she did have dementia. And so maybe that's God's trick of being like, ha ha ha, your turn. I'm funny. Um, so yeah, you're not alone. There's millions of people that go through it, but it's still personal to you. So when he's not there, it's hard, man. There's been a couple times I had to keep it together. Seeing the hospital bed, that was hard. Um, Being told to not really lift him, because I guess lifting him was actually doing possibly a disservice because he needs to work those legs. His brain doesn't tell his left leg to work, so he kind of has to um, push down a bunch, if he will, and then eventually he'll stand right up and he's good to go. But lifting him, you know, from the couch to the chair to the chair to the couch, um, I guess anyway, that wasn't helping his leg situation. So with hospice coming in and him having an actual bed and kind of knowing more what you should do. I mean, I don't know. You might be faking yourself out, but I feel like he's doing better. The first night he had the bed, he didn't want to get in there. He wanted to get out, but eventually he did. And he slept all night and then some, which from what I understand, that hasn't happened since April or May. So he finally got really good rest, which was huge because that means my mom got really good rest. So yeah, I don't know. In some ways, it feels like I've already lost him, which totally sucks. I've had a few moments where I was just like, I'm going to stay in the car for a minute while I gather myself. But I don't know. Something's going to get us all, and this is what's got him. And you wish it didn't have a hold on him, but it does. And so, look, we only have the one day, right? It's only today. Um, just like the Broadway show Rent says, right? Only day is today. Um, in fact, that might be my next tattoo. Is only day is today, or whatever they say in that show. Sometimes when the camera comes on, fam, as I've said several times on this pod and Slap Son, I forget. I really am a sharp guy. I promise. I mean, sure, I'm a weed head, but no. I'm still sharp. I get it. I mean, I'm not sharp from like the hours of for sure 9:30 on, because that's me trying to get Joe's time. But other than that, yeah. And I promise you, as soon as I hit stop on this, I'm going to remember everything. Let's get a sip now. It is Thirsty Thursday after all. Anyway, you can talk about that forever. So it's hard, but we got the right help in now. We've got people helping mom. We got people helping with the stuff that is hard, like changing of clothes and, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's good. Getting to Allie. Oh, that girl, man. I know. You want real talk, fam? You want real talk? I don't know what's going on with that girl, man. Um, and I rarely have. I know Allie really well, and sometimes we get in playful fights about this. One time I remember a few years ago, she's like, "Get to know me, man. Get to know me," which is so funny because, um, yeah, yeah, we won't talk about that. I digress. Allie's doing what Allie needs to do, and I posted it on Instagram the other day, basically saying you can't worry about others pouring back into you. You just got to pour into them. And I'm sure on her side of the table, she feels the same way. But marriage is weird, right? Because if you're lucky, both of you really do love each other. It's shocking to me how people stay together and they really don't want them around. You know what I mean? Especially if kids are involved. It takes a lot of guts to say, hey, I'm not happy and move on. So I get all that. But if you're lucky, you really do love each other. Um, I would say that we're just in a point now in our relationship where um, we're trying to figure out if we can be best friends and be the married couple. We've always been best friends on the surface level and a little bit deeper, especially when times get hard. We're always, we are there for each other through our mistakes and all that kind of stuff. But Allie's a social butterfly, bro, and she latches on to people. She loves those people. Uh, she loves those people. And when those people fly away because they're just growing, people grow, they move on or whatever, or sometimes in her life, they just bounce for whatever reason. I wouldn't say that's the case currently, but people grow, they move on, and Allie just loves really hard. And I think I said this on the last Thirsty Thursday. Since we've been dating, she's always say things like, people always leave. I mean, since we were dating, and man, I don't know. I always knew that was a thing for sure, because I've always tried to get her attention because she's always been off doing her thing, and eventually you realize, you got to let them be them. I've never been the jealous type as far as them going out, like Allie and her friends or doing her own thing or growing as a person. I've never had a short leash on this girl. Go do your thing. Because if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't want anybody doing that. And plus, despite popular belief, it's actually healthy. You need to encourage your girl to go out and have girls' night. You need to encourage your girl to go out and do her thing. Like, that's healthy. You can't control your spouse. You can't be that person. It just causes, first of all, it shows your insecurity as their partner, and it just causes a contention that maybe isn't really real. You're just jealous they're going out, and and that can be a slippery slope. But the point is, now I think for the first time in our relationship, we really, for the most part, just have each other. And I think that's more difficult for her than me, just because she's dealing with all of the things that have come with us being in this spot, if that makes sense. And like I said, she, I would joke with her all the time, go see the people you really love. Go see your real family. And sometimes it was more mean than other times. But overall, I think what's hard is growing up in my family, if you didn't speak sarcastically or self-deprecating or give your loved ones a hard time, I mean, how else would you show love? You're not going to hug them. So anyway, that's my personality. If I see you out and I dap you up and I say, "What's up, bitch?" I call you bitch or whatever. Believe it or not, that's me showing love to you. I fuck with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm giving you a hard time. And that's always been a struggle with Allie and I. And now that we have to figure out how to be more best friends, even as recent as yesterday, I just looked at her because I was laughing at what she was talking about. And she just instantly got mad. And I was like, baby, sometimes somebody laughs along with you because they're agreeing with you about how ridiculous a situation is, you know? And we were in the salon hanging out with shout out Bailey. What's up, girl? excited for that baby. Um, and Hannah. And she was getting amped up about something. And look, I know it's inappropriate, but I just tapped her on her tits like this. I said, breathe. It's going to be okay, baby. It's going to be all right, you know? And luckily, we were in the salon, so she just smiled it off and everything was great. Bro, but there's just so much angst and anxiety and all kinds of stuff going on. But she'll find her way. She always does. I'll find my way as well. I always do. And then together we'll find our way together. We always do. That hashtag undefeated mantra and Allie in my life is very real. I believe that. Look, I could go out and sleep with 6 hookers, do a line of cocaine, and start smacking the wall for no reason. And Allie would hate that, and she'd probably hate me for a little while, but we would work through it because we're undefeated, and that's what we do. And it's hard because you wish the person would put into you what you put into them, but then when you step back and look at it from their perspective, maybe you don't feel that way anymore. And then if you still do, then maybe you have a conversation very, very soon and fast. Rip off the Band-Aid for sure. But if you can look at it from their perspective, truly, usually all that stuff dies down. But we'll get there. We'll get through it. Man, there is a lot going on. I get her stress for sure. I get her stress. I get her worry. I get her anxiety about all these things. I used to listen to this motivational speaker. His name was Jim Rohn, not Jim Rome, the sports guy. Rohn. He's this squeaky voiced fuck from Idaho, one of the original motivational guys. And I had these tapes. Yeah, I had tapes. I had these tapes of him, and I was listening to him. And he was talking about how he lost $2 million back in the day, which I don't know what the equivalent of 2 million way back in the day, like 70s and 80s, would be in today's money. Either way, still a boatload of cash, right? And he went through a hard time, and he's saying that he lost all of his money due to this technicality from this thing that he signed, and it was this massive lesson, and on and on. And his point was, and at the time I just rolled my eyes like, yeah, okay, boo-hoo, but he lost $2 million on this deal. And how he explained it was, it wasn't a lot of money, it was everything I had, though, and that's what was hard. And I remember thinking, wasn't a lot of money? Bitch, are you serious? $2 million? I got news for you. That's a lot of money, son. And now that I'm older and we've run a couple businesses and we've tried to launch different things here and there, you do have to make sacrifices and things come up that you aren't expecting, but you do what you feel like is right in the moment, and then you got to live with it. And so I understand more of what Jim Rohn was talking about. And I think that's what Allie's kind of going through a little bit now. It's not that everything is a lot. It's just in her heart and in her mind, it's everything she had, though. And that's what's hard. And that's what's confusing. And that's what's difficult to work through. Because how do you start over? How do you build back up? How do you not take it personally? All these things. So it's not so much everything that's happening, because it is a lot. It's more that it's all she had. But she will be okay. We will be okay. And I really feel like, as cliche as it is, there's nowhere to go but up. And that's what we're going to do. And then guess what? You're going to reach the peak of another mountain. And then guess what? Another earthquake or a little tap from behind. So you're going to fall a little bit, or you might fall a lot, because that's how it goes. But overall, these are the things you need to go through to look back on your life when you're in that hospice bed and say, you know what, though? I crushed it. And it's easy to start having regret with that kind of stuff. Personally, I can think about that stuff because I start thinking of all the negative things and the hard things and getting jealous and envious, all this kind of stuff. And so I don't really do that. But I do know overall, I've done okay. And overall, I would say Allie has done really well. There hasn't been many dreams she hasn't been able to pursue and go after, which is amazing. And fam, you know this, people that are close to me know this. I hate it when people just talk the same rhetoric over and over and over. I've got people in my life that are my age, of course, a little bit younger, some a little bit older, and they're all just talking the same jam. They're all talking the same jam. And that makes me so sad and mad and just an eye roll and just like, well, I can't fuck with you, man. I can't fuck with you, man. Because look, we all can't be LL Cool J and Eminem rapping like gangsters in our late 50s, mid 50s and killing life in that way with notoriety and fame and money and all this shit. Okay, I get it. I get it. But does that mean you fucking just wait around for the hospice to show up? No. And that's how I know that all this stuff is going to eventually be okay. And then we'll be on to the next challenge. Because despite our shortcomings and despite the irritating and all the stuff that comes with us in our relationship, we're not the type to sit around for too long. And at least for us, that's very healthy. And I think it's actually very healthy for most people. And all right, well, I think we've ranted enough, but I do want to end with this. Seriously, do whatever you want to do. Like, take care of your shit. Don't go rogue and move to Peru and say, yeah, I was never married. I never had kids, or, you know what I'm saying. But like, shoot, if you want to, like my sister, she does like a barbershop quartet thing. Yes, do it. Like, why not? That guy in Lord of the Rings, that old fuck, nobody knew who he was until he got Lord of the Rings. And he was like 60 or 70 when that happened. You just don't know. And I can promise you this, if you don't try or keep going, nothing's ever going to happen. But if you try and keep going, well, it just might happen, right? I was listening to Denzel Washington, and he had this line that was awesome. He said that you never see a U-Haul following a hearse. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried, and they just got robbed. So, in the name of Beverage, go out and live your life, folks. Sip to the amen. We'll see you next week.